Hello, folks. Have you been to the state fair yet? I cannot wait to go. You know, the state fair is the only place you can go, put on about 10 pounds and not feel guilty about it. I hope you and your family have made your way there. In the studios today, we have Jeremy Moss.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
Doing well. Doing well. How are you doing?
It's a good question.
Still figuring it out?
Yeah. So tell us about your family.
Yeah. So my wife, Rachel, and I got married in 2003. And so that goes back a little while. And we've got 4 kids. We actually met at Lighthouse, and I know we're going to be talking about Lighthouse a little bit here today.
Yeah, we are. We
met at Lighthouse. We grew up there. I got there when I was in 8th grade, and our families just hit it off.
So what year would that have been, 8th grade?
93, 94.
Okay.
Something like that. I'm terrible with dates, Clay.
Me too. I'm not too good on time.
All right. And we met pretty much right away. We were the only family that both of our families had and kind of in the area. And so we became quick, extended family, holidays together, all that kind of stuff. And the relationship kind of was not there at the beginning, but kind of did my own thing through middle school, high school, all that kind of stuff. And then the Lord opened up my eyes.
To this beautiful young lady.
Beautiful young lady named Rachel, yeah. And got married. And yeah, we've got 4 kids ranging from 6 all the way up to 16.
6 to 16.
Yeah, yeah.
So the 16-year-old young girl, right?
Mm-hmm. Caitlin,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
She's incredible. She feels the call of God on her life. Still exploring to see to what extent,
that look like? Okay.
You know.
Sure.
But feels a call towards something like kids, youth, and or worship ministry. So she's actually on staff at the church. She's my assistant, and what an honor it's been to see her grow, but also help her grow in the giftings that God has given her. And so, man, it's just a joy to have her on the worship team with us on Sunday mornings and just helping a lot of the administrative stuff in the background. But just got her driver's license.
Is that good news or bad news?
That's actually good news. When you got 4 kids, that's good news.
Yeah, somebody get them around from point A to point B, right?
Yep, absolutely. So really proud of her. Excited for what God's doing in her life, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah.
Now, Rachel is a teacher, is that right?
She is.
Okay. And where does she teach?
She, they just recently changed the terminology, but it's dyslexia. She helps kiddos with dyslexia. And she loves it. She's fantastic at it.
My oldest granddaughter has dyslexia.
Okay.
And, they tested her till the cows come home, trying to figure it out. And there was a lady that attended Trinity. Mm-hmm. Her name was Gay Darden. Gay tested her one time. Mm-hmm. She says she's got dyslexia, and I can help her. And it was, all of a sudden, it was like the light bulb came on for my granddaughter.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Praise the Lord for that.
She's very passionate about it, very good at what she does. It's kind of a running joke that she's going to diagnose everybody with dyslexia. I think she would believe that Adam and Eve probably had dyslexia at some point somehow. But.
Well, if you saw how bad I read, you would think I have dyslexia for sure.
It's incredible that the people who have it, and they're geniuses and they're high achievers, and they,
That's not what I'm talking about, mate, brother. I don't read well, and so, but it doesn't stop me from reading.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually mentioned on the podcast last week. You would think at this stage in life, you're going, I think I've kind of learned what I'm going to learn, and yet it's actually the opposite. At this stage in life, you're going, okay, how do I maximize my time?
Got you.
Well, the way you do that is you keep learning, particularly now, because things, and I'm not talking about learning how to use your phone, because that's not happening, okay? Yes, for those of you out here, I remember what it's like when we didn't have cell phones, all right? I'm still trying to figure out, is that good news or bad news? Because there are days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I've been like everybody else. There's been days I wanted to use that and see how far I could skip that across the lake, Yep.
I understand
so
that.
your wife and her sister both grew up at the Lighthouse.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I remember them coming to the Lighthouse. And so obviously they see things from the Lighthouse a little bit differently from them. So from their perspective, how did that kind of set you up for the Lighthouse?
From their perspective, how did it set us up for the Lighthouse?
What do you think about the Lighthouse? I mean, obviously things have changed since we're going to talk about that in a minute. A couple of times since you've been here.
Yeah. I've been on staff 18 years. So seen quite a bit of transition and change, yeah. I think having gotten there and getting rooted there at the church has been extremely important through a lot of those transitions and changes. And it's grown a love for the church and for that community. And that's where the Lord has me. You know, He has me there to serve, I believe, to serve that church and that community in whatever capacity that looks like. Yeah. And so I'm thankful for that longevity. I'm thankful for the impact of joining into a family that has that same longevity like the Pierces, you know. So I think that plays a big part in it, yeah.
Well, you've had, this is what I'm fixing to say. It's going to sound ironic because there's been 3 different pastors, their lead pastors, while you've been there. Mm-hmm. And yet, before you got to that, well, I guess Greg was still, he was still the lead pastor when he got there. And yet he was technically, I guess he was the second pastor, right?
After Hibberts.
Because of Hibberts.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when you got there, they only had 2. And since then, they've had 3. Okay. So,
yeah.
All 3. And I was there when Sister Hibbert was there. The Hibberts were huge into radio. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So everything back then, and I know this is going to sound funny, everything was reel to reel back then.
We still have some of that equipment.
I'm so sorry.
It's cool stuff. It's pretty cool.
My first job on staff at the Lighthouse was to do the radio ministry. Now, the hands-on stuff I enjoyed, like the way you edited that tape, that reel-to-reel stuff, you actually did it by hand. It's no different than, I know it's changed now, but originally there was a guy on staff, Eddie Ushery.
Yeah.
Eddie worked for, I can't remember, I think it was Trammell Crow, and I could be wrong on the company, but they did sporting events.
Right.
So Eddie drove this 18-wheeler that was a studio on wheels, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, this is back when everything is tape. And so, like, to do instant replay, they're turning that back by hand, brother.
Wow.
Well, that's what we did when we're editing for the radio. Mm-hmm. You turn that back by hand. And then we used a razor blade, and you would cut out the section, and then you taped it back together.
Literally spliced it. Yeah.
That's a little archaic, right? And we used to, the recording was where they took the prayer request for years over there to the right of the platform.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I hated that room, man. I had no problem doing sound, but man, being in that room, you are so disconnected.
Yeah.
It's dark in there too. It's kind of like it's actually even darker than the studio, man.
With that little window.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't see anything that's going on, you know. But you're recording. That wasn't supposed to be in the podcast today, but I guess for somebody that's a Lighthouse person, they'll enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
The church that James and I were at last week, the young man that's a pastor was a child at the Lighthouse when we were there. So
wow.
It was kind of cool. Well, there's been 3 different pastors.
Right.
Since you've been there. One was Pastor Greg, followed by Pastor Lewis, and now the interim is Pastor Darius. How would you describe each of their leadership styles?
Oh, man.
Yeah, good question, right?
Yeah. Caught me off guard on that one. They're all 3 great leaders in their own way, I believe. Mm-hmm. Pastor Greg, structured?
A little
bit, yeah.
Mark Ward, when he was on staff, he used to say that Greg had file drawers in his house to keep all his underwear and stuff in. I'm like, that might be a little extreme. I don't know about that, but I understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
Very organized.
Very
detailed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Learned a lot from him. I got to serve under him for a good, I don't know if it was 11, 12 years, something like that. Honestly, I grew up with his boys as well through high school and stuff like that. So he was kind of like that additional father figure in my life. I have a fantastic father, so it's not like, that I was shortchanged on that end, but thankful for Pastor Greg's influence in my life as well. Leadership development and things like that. Pastor Lewis, man, he was a visionary, very creative, not as structured, right? But still a great leader, great visionary, and poured a lot into the people of the Lighthouse Church. You could tell he really cared, really loved the people of Lighthouse. And man, Pastor Darius, now he just comes with some incredible experience, wisdom.
Yep.
Same, he's very structured, very organized as well. But man, I think it's a rare thing to see an interim pastor step in and so quickly have a heart for the people, and then the people have a heart for him and Cindy as well. And so there's just such a deep caring. I was texting with Cindy a couple weeks ago, and I said, man, I think we were studying one of the books that Paul had written, and you just saw Paul's heart for this group of people. I don't remember who he was writing to, maybe the Ephesians, but you just saw his fatherly heart. And I said, man, you guys are a reflection of Paul in this specific situation, and stepping in and just loving on people so well and so much. So it's been really neat to see, and I've learned so much from Pastor Darius as well. Yeah.
I've known Pastor Darius his entire life. I used to tell people, you can look up the word integrity.
Yeah. And
there's a picture of Darius right beside that.
Absolutely. Yep.
He's solid as the day is long.
Yeah.
He's been in the room now for about a year. I don't know. Once again, I'm not too good on time.
No, almost exactly a year. It's
about a year.
A little over, yep.
And as good as he's been for the church, and I believe he has been and is good.
Sure.
Transition. James and I read a book. It's called Next. And it's talking about the next pastor. That's succession.
Yeah.
Incredible book. And it explains the importance of transition. I never understood that until I read that. It's, for somebody out there today, and, your church is going through transition, I highly recommend you get that book. It has so changed my thinking. One of the things that the book says is that everybody is, wherever they are, they're there for a season. That was different thinking for me. Because I've observed people that every 2 years God calls them somewhere else. So I say, I'm just here for a season.
Right, yeah.
I have met people that they have a specific gift that they bring to the church, and they are there for a season. But that's not most of us. Most of us, our challenge is that it gets tough, and we kind of go, maybe this is not where God wants me to be, instead of planning. People ask me all the time, how do you be successful? And there's a lot of, there's all kinds of keys. First, I'm going to assume that you're praying. Just an assumption.
Right.
I know it's a bad assumption. Every time I make an assumption, it's usually a problem.
Right, sure.
I'm assuming you're opening up His Word.
Right.
Letting Him speak to you every day.
Yeah.
Assuming you do those two things, the other key is just stay. Go something, no different you're at the Lighthouse. Just go and stay.
Yeah.
And God will honor your faithfulness. For people, and that's the DNA of the Lighthouse. It's people have been there for a long even the people that attend have been there for a long time. So this journey has been new for them. They're not used to
Right.
change. So, trials come in many forms. There are a host of people that are watching and they're listening today to our podcast. Life has crashed in on them.
Yeah.
What would be your encouragement to them?
Man, keep your eyes fixed on Christ. He's the author and the finisher, the beginning and the end. So everything in between, he's God over all of that too, Surround yourself with people that can encourage you, support you, hold you accountable. Because, sometimes we get crazy thoughts and we got to pull those thoughts captive and not let them take root because they will not produce good fruit in our lives. Be willing to contend for peace and unity, in yourself, in your family, in your church even, Those things are, I think, very, very important. The enemy, obviously in our society, man, we're just so polarized. And enemy, even in the church world, we're polarized, unfortunately, And man, how much would the enemy love to come in to your life and polarize some things in your life, in your mind, in your heart, and then potentially impact your involvement in the church, get you isolated, and then, man, that's a really dangerous road when you're isolated out there on your own.
Yeah.
So community is important.
I think the number one tactic of the enemy in this time is isolation. If we learned anything from the pandemic, we learned the consequences of isolation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you're isolated, you're alone. And we have to remember our enemy's been at this a lifetime.
Right, yeah.
A couple of lifetimes, right?
Right, yeah.
So when he gets us alone, we start making assumptions, bad decisions, lack of information, Each week, Jeremy, we try to give a verse, something that people can grab hold of. So for those that are they're at that crossroads, Psalms chapter 121. I love Psalms. Man, you can. What if the problem is? You pretty much run to that, and you can find an answer. Verse 1, it says, "I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there?"
Yeah.
In verse 2, it tells us the answer to that. My help comes from the Lord.
Amen. Yep.
Who made heaven and earth. So, if you're struggling today, you're at a crisis. Trust the Lord.
Yeah.
The transition at the Lighthouse has been longer than probably what anybody wanted it to be. And yet I choose to believe the Lord is in control. I'm convinced he brought Pastor Darius there.
Amen. Yeah.
And when the Lord is raising up the next leader for the Lighthouse, and we have to hold on to it. I mean, the Lighthouse was built on prayer. I mean, think about it. How many churches that half of the sanctuary is a prayer room?
Yeah.
I mean, it tells something about...
In both facilities, right? The one on Ewing and the...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. So, well, even for me, I mean, it was at the Lighthouse I learned to pray, brother. I mean, I knew how to lay me down to sleep, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was at the Lighthouse that I remember something that, and this was something that Sister Hibbard would say, that Brother Hibbard has said, and that is, if you left the church and you didn't go in the prayer room, you just cast a vote for the church to fail. I never forgot that.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So, yeah. And so I've had some incredible encounters in the prayer room there at the Lighthouse. So the Lighthouse is birthed on prayer.
Right.
And still today, it's top priority. So
it is. Absolutely. Yep.
Whether you're attending the Lighthouse and you're kind of going, Lord, when is this?
Yeah.
What's next for us? Or, man, there are some other people that I very, very close to, that life's, man, it's challenging right now, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So the answer to that is trust in the Lord. Mm-hmm. Trust in the Lord. Yep. You were on staff at the Lighthouse when Lewis spoke to us about building new facilities there.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've shared this on our podcast, but if I have not, Lewis actually called me on a Saturday night. And the only thing about this, Lewis was mowing his yard. Mm-hmm. And for those that know Lewis, know that's not exactly, it's kind of like my son. Mowing grass is not really, doesn't make the top 10 list, you know. So he knew it had to be, if the Lord's speaking to him, it had to be the Lord, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And he said he felt like that the Lord spoke to him that they need to provide land for us to build brand new facilities. And without going into that whole story today, it's not like I went, "Oh yeah, this is God. We got to do this," right?
Sure.
But actually, it was quite some time later. I talked to our exec team, and they were the ones that said, "Yeah, we need to follow up with this." And so I did call Lewis back and said, "Is this option still there?" He said, "Most definitely." So we set up a appointment 2 weeks later. Mm-hmm. Well, at that time, now she's very, very sick. The only thing Barbara asked to do each week was go to church. Just wanted to be in church. Well, we were doing church at that time. We were doing church on Sunday nights. And so that year, Halloween fell on Sunday. So I knew we weren't going to have church service that night. We were going to do an outreach in the community. Well, Barbara couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I called Lewis. I said, "Hey, can I bring Barbara to church this morning?" I said, "Keep in mind, she's in a wheelchair, and she won't know most of the people, and maybe not anybody." Mm-hmm. I said, "So we'll have to come late and leave early," which is not my DNA. I said, "But that's what we'll have to do." I said, "Is that okay?" And he said, "Sure." So we came that Sunday, and Ben and Diane Bustamante were going back to the mission field. Mm-hmm. And Lewis had called the elders up to pray for them before they left. And he asked me to join with them, which I was honored to do. I've known Diane since she was a teenager, you know. So
there's a longevity at the Lighthouse again, right? Absolutely, yeah.
And when we got through praying, the Lord gave me 2 words: come home. Mm. And when the Lord said that, that was my first inclination. I went, "Oh, gee, this is really going to happen," you know?
Yeah.
And hadn't even met with Pastor Lewis yet. But I knew when the Lord said, "Come home," I went, "Oh, okay. All right." And you know the journey since then. Mm-hmm. But there are people out there, they're watching this podcast. And there's probably people here watching that at one time attended the Lighthouse, you know, back in the day, right?
Yep.
You know, of our dream to do this absolutely debt-free. Mm-hmm. I've been reminded a couple of times the last few weeks how tough the economy is.
Right.
And so, you know, I told myself, I checked with the Lord, and He doesn't seem to be too concerned about the economy. Mm-hmm. People say, "Well, the interest rate's high." I said, "Well, if you're not borrowing money, then it really doesn't matter that interest rates are high, right?" Yeah. And even the Lighthouse, the round church over on Ewing Street, when they open the doors, it's paid for.
Oh, wow.
When the original building at the Lighthouse was built, which was at that time the educational and then the round auditorium also. I remember it was actually in the newspaper. $1 million church building, paying cash.
Wow.
So this is not new.
Right.
It's not a new thought. Now, for some of us, it is today because we're used to easy monthly payments. But I still haven't seen those easy monthly payments. Maybe there's somebody out there that you'd like to call in or send me a text or whatever, email. "Hey, Clay, here's how you have those easy monthly payments." Well, I think the way to have them is don't have them, right?
Yeah.
So why should they get involved there? Why should they help us with our dream?
Yeah. Man, I'll just speak kind of from sort of an insider who's not on the inside, if that makes sense, because you guys use our facility And so I get to work with your team. I get to work with Tim and Chrissy and James and even Brent, your son. And I think that this is a practical principle that shows a spiritual or at least a character kind of approach. And that is that you guys invest and take care of the facility. And I think it's just a mentality of, man, I want to give my best so that I can help somebody or something else be their best as well. And so I think that speaks to the integrity of your team, of your ministry. It speaks, honestly, Clay, it speaks of your integrity and your leadership development of this team that's coming up. Kind of like what you talked about, that handoff with that book next. And so the future is extremely bright, I believe, for Dallas Metro. Being at the Lighthouse for so long, we've partnered with Dallas Metro
from day one
for a long,
day one.
And so there's a fruitfulness there that I've had an opportunity to observe. There's an integrity there. There's a stewardship. There's a faithfulness. There's that idea that when it gets tough, we're not going to just uproot and go somewhere else, but God's called us here to this community, and we're going to, if anything, grow deeper roots during this time, because there's such a heart and a compassion for the kids of the community, and then which in turn impacts the families of the community, which then impacts the community and the city as well. And so to go back to that longevity aspect, man, that speaks volumes. And I think that's why Dallas Metro is good soil to invest in. And it's been an honor and a privilege. Your son, Brent, takes incredible care of the facility that you guys use in our youth worship space there. In fact, he makes it better. You guys make it better, really. And so that's just, I think, a practical outflow, practical example of kind of the character and really the spiritual perspective that you guys have. Yeah.
Thanks for being here today, brother.
Absolutely, man.
It's been a
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor.
For those of you that are watching today, we're asking you to be a part of this miracle. Being at the Lighthouse, one of the challenges we have right now is you can't stop. Most people don't understand this. You can't stop people from stealing. As long as you guys sin in this way. People ask me all the time, why do sinners act the way they do? It's very, very simple. They're sinners. So they're going to do things like that. One of the things that allow us to do at the Lighthouse, we're actually putting up a fence with some cameras on it to slow people down from stealing our stuff. That can be quite frustrating. But it's also going to allow this team that Jeremy's talking about, we can double our impact in the city with this new facility, but it's not going to happen without you. The children that we're reaching out to and their families, this is so beyond us, but it's not beyond the Lord. Mm-hmm. So I'm asking you today, we talked earlier about spending time in His Word, spending time in prayer. Would you just pray? Say, Lord, what can I do to be a part of this miracle that's going to build a church for future generations? Go to our webpage, dallasmetro.org, click on All In, click on what is All In, and then if you make a commitment for the next 12 months, we would really, really appreciate it. Hey, we're so glad you tuned in this week. I'll see you next week. God bless you, friends. Bye-bye.